Someone said drink the water,
but I will drink the wine. All right, well, welcome to another edition of the MOG Radio Hour. MOG is material other than grapes. I'm Jonathan Cristaldi. Our guest today is Josh Phelps.
Hello.
Josh, hey man, I really appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate you doing this. This is our first one, so a big one. It's great to have you here. How are you holding up with the whole thing, the whole coronavirus thing?
I am doing pretty well. Keeping busy with work, getting outside, drinking wine.
That's cool. Are you drinking wine right now?
I've got a little bit of Pinot Noir here. This is a new wine that I'm working on with my dad. And then to prepare for you, I've got some mezcal here.
Oh, very nice. That's nice. I don't know about mezcal wine, but I'm sure you'll educate me. So listen, I'm going to thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this. I'm going to turn you over to my co-host. It's an old friend of mine from New York he engineered a famous luncheon on a subway in Manhattan. You can look it up on YouTube, the L Train luncheon. He came out of retirement to work on the show with me. I'm very excited to introduce. So I'm going to let him ask you questions, Josh. I'm going to introduce Johnny Cigar. Johnny Cigar. Thank you, Cristaldi.
Oh man,
he's a nice guy, but he comes from a trailer park.
Anyway. So I hear.
Yeah, well, thanks, thanks for doing the show. I'm a big fan of Joseph Phelps wines. So thanks for being here, Joe.
Josh Phelps.
I'm sorry?
Josh Phelps, not Joe Phelps. Different Phelps.
Oh, right. That's right. Joseph Phelps was my first choice. But we asked a lot of other people before we had to settle.
Yeah.
Well, I asked a lot of other people before we had to settle for you, but let's get into it, I guess. Well, I wrote an intro for Joseph Phelps, who makes Insignia.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, you'll have to do your own intro. So can you just do your own intro, whatever you do, just keep it short. Go ahead.
You sure you don't want to give it a shot? You have no research here?
I'm not quite sure what you do, or I'm sure I'll find out. And you are?
I'm Josh Phelps. I own Grounded Wine Company. Are you familiar? You've got a bottle of it sitting right next to you.
Actually, this is a dummy bottle. The real wine in there is this.
Oh.
That Liquid Farm Rosé, which is really good.
I'm not familiar with that one.
This I've never had. I probably won't ever have that. But is that what you make? Is this what you do? Is this you?
Yeah, that is what I do. Yeah. What a coincidence you have that on your desk right now.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably Cristaldi behind that. I mean, I would have nothing to do with this. But this Liquid Farm stuff is very good. So we'll just kind of do that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So your name is Josh Phelps, and you make wine called Space Age.
Yeah, that's one of my wines.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get into the the interview. Some people have it all, right? Good education, kind heart, an adoring family. How does it feel to have none of those things?
Oh man.
I read that you were planning on giving up on winemaking so that you could get back into winemaking the way you had originally promised to get into wine, which is to make honest, affordable, and interesting wine.
And what?
Well, I don't know. That's what I had written right here is the question. It was a question. You were supposed to say something. Okay, we'll just keep going. There's more questions. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer making good wine, like Insignia, or like making wine that no one's ever heard of?
Like the wine on your table that somehow magically appeared on your table.
Yeah. Never heard of that wine. I don't know. I've seen it before today.
That's interesting.
Somehow I doubt it's even like a wine. Somehow somebody could have printed this like on a printer somewhere. Well, do you have any advice for people who have to interview you who wouldn't ever want to drink your wine, even if their life was being threatened?
For people that wanted to interview me, like yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I think that most people that interview me, a little more versed and educated on the topic than yourself.
Like Esther Mobley from the San Francisco Chronicle.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny you bring up Esther. One of your best friends, Dan Petrosky, he was named Winemaker of the Year by Mobley. So how does it feel to know someone's like as cool as him?
As Dan? Oh, so
yeah.
Cool. So cool. What about that?
That must be great for you to know someone so cool.
It really is just, makes my days so much brighter knowing that I have, a friend with such fame.
Yeah. Do you ever ask him like for winemaking advice?
I haven't really.
You probably should.
I was actually going to tonight with Dave, but I don't think you could.
Have you ever had this? Because this is really.
I have never had it. Tell me about it. What?
Really good. Like, I mean, when I think of wine, like, and when I think of like good wine, like that's it. That's it. It's just really good. It's just tasty. It's something I just want to keep drinking. Oh, that's really nice. What advice, Josh, do you give to other winemakers who are also closet tea party members? Okay, so we're going to take a quick pause because this is not a very long show, but we do have sponsors. So we just want to pause for a second and just give a little love to our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Liquid Farm, supporters of local viticulture and makers of wine with naturally high acidity and not masked by modern day manipulations. Speaking of, let's get back to our guest, Joseph Phelps. Could you recommend a wine that people might actually want to drink? Anything, really.
I think this mezcal wine, as you mentioned, I think this is thinking pretty good right now. If you're not going to drink my wine, drink this.
You've been listening to the MOG Radio Hour. That's material other than grapes. I'm Johnny Cigar.